who is praying for the mothers? We just assume someone is, but this really makes you pause and think, wait, what's my role in this? Am I supporting the woman who gave me everything? To really get why this is so crucial, we've got to start by looking at a mother's journey, a journey that's so often defined by huge sacrifices that most of us never even see. I mean, just think about it for a second. It's literally a lifetime of giving. It starts with carrying a child for 9 long months, then going through the physical trauma of childbirth, sometimes more than once. And that's just the beginning. Then come the years of raising children, and so often putting their own personal dreams on the back burner, all for the good of the family. And the really tough part? Sometimes that incredible sacrifice comes at a heartbreaking price. Mothers give their absolute all to protect their families, only to be met with things like betrayal, heartbreak, or even abandonment. And that leaves behind some deep, lasting trauma. So the big question is, how do they deal with all that pain? Well, as we're about to see, their amazing strength often comes at a hidden and frankly devastating cost. Well, in order to just keep going, to be strong and present for their kids, a lot of mothers make a choice. They decide to suppress their pain. They just push that trauma and heartbreak way down deep so they can keep functioning and taking care of everyone. And this is where it gets really serious. That suppressed trauma, it doesn't just disappear. It has to go somewhere. All that stress from holding it in can actually damage the body over time. And this is how the deep emotional pain starts to show up physically, as some really serious diseases. Dementia, Alzheimer's, stroke, cancer, diabetes, hypertension, arthritis. The connection is just staggering, and it's very, very real. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? What you intentionally forget to keep surviving becomes a loop of forgetfulness. It suggests that the very act of pushing pain away can actually rewire the brain, creating a pattern that years later can show up as a cognitive disease. It's just a tragic consequence of their own strength. So, you see the heartbreaking irony here? At the very time they should be enjoying life, relaxing, meeting their grandkids, so many mothers find themselves stuck in a sickbed, feeling absolutely hopeless, almost like they're at death's door. But, and this is the most important part of this whole conversation, that suffering is not how the story is supposed to end. The message here is actually one of incredible hope and restoration for our mothers. We're reminded of a core promise in the Bible, that Jesus came to set the captives free. And that promise isn't just about ancient history. It applies to the emotional and physical prisons that our mothers can find themselves in because of all that suppressed trauma. And it's not just about freedom from the bad stuff. It's about a total restoration. The promise is to replace the pain and sacrifice with beauty, joy, and gladness, to bring real comfort and happiness back into their lives. And then there's this, which is just, wow. This is probably one of the most powerful promises you can find. It talks about this profound, miraculous kind of restoration. It points to the amazing possibility of seeing everything that was lost, their health, their hope, their energy, literally brought back to life. Okay, so if this restoration is possible, what's our part in it? How do we help make this incredible hope a reality for the mothers in our own lives? Well, the answer is actually really clear and direct. We can honor them through consistent, dedicated prayer. And look, I know it can be hard to do this on our own, but that's where the incredible strength of coming together comes in. This is such a powerful principle from Scripture. The idea is that our spiritual strength grows exponentially when we're united. If one person praying can chase 1,000, just imagine what 2 can do. They can send whole legions fleeing. It's all about multiplying our impact by joining our voices together. So, with that in mind, let's look at how we can put this power into action, together, right now. Now, this isn't just a casual prayer circle. This gathering has a very specific and powerful mission: to travail in prayer. That means to really labor with focus and intensity, and to keep going until we see real, tangible results, until we actually see our mothers get up from their sickbeds and walk in strength and health again. And here are the simple details if you want to be a part of this. The prayer meeting for our mothers happens every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. It's a set time each week to stand together for their healing. And this right here, this is the belief that fuels the entire mission. It's a declaration of faith that our mothers won't just survive, they're going to thrive again. And why? Because it lines up perfectly with that foundational promise we talked about, that it is God's will to set the captives free.
And so that brings us right back to the beginning. But now the question is a lot more personal. Your mother, my mother, our mothers, they need our prayers. This is a direct invitation to be a part of their healing. So the only question left is, will you join us?